So, welcome back to the Cross Up Podcast. I believe we're on episode 14. It could be 15. I apologize for how I sound. I've had a cough this entire week. No fever, no runny nose, just the cough, and it's fucking my throat up. This episode is since we had Jeremy traveling. He's not here with us. It's going to be kind of a shorter episode, kind of just more for fun. Get to know us a little bit more better. We're going to talk about like our favorite upcoming game or our most anticipated game for the rest of the year, or maybe early next year. And then we're going to talk about maybe like our favorite game mechanics or things in games that we're like a really big fan of. And we either want more games to do or maybe innovate on that idea. Maybe change it up because we like the mechanic that's in a bunch of other games, but no one's really done anything with it, blah, blah. We'll get into it. And just I guess as a heads up, I think it's gonna be in a couple weeks whenever the actual nominees for the Game Awards get announced. We're gonna get together as a podcast and we're gonna go through all the nominees and just kind of talk about everything, see what we think what we want to win in each category and what we think will win. Because it is still very much a
popularity contest.
Sponsored popularity contest. So until we get a more fair way to, I guess, control that, it'll stay that way. But so I guess we can talk about what we're most excited for. I guess because it's in November, we only have 2 months left. What we're most excited for as far as upcoming video games. And then we were talking about it before the podcast, and there's like a few games coming out that are like whatever for me at least. A lot of the games that I was waiting for this year already came out. And then like the games that I guess I do want are still like next year. Like the City of the Wolves, Fatal Fury. I'm waiting for that to come out, but that's next year. So for this year, it's probably just Marvel Rivals, really. Marvel Rivals is the last one I'm waiting for.
I second the motion.
Yeah, same.
I do.
Just looking at this list, there's not really much else that I'm like super interested in.
I think it's always really crazy that like a lot of the big games come out kind of like
November.
Well, the thing, I thought it was going to be November, but there's not a whole lot coming out this month either.
No.
No. Most of them come out in September, October, and then everyone's broke in November.
Yeah.
And then
in December they do their holiday push shit. On all the big games.
And then they make deals on all the games that weren't profitable.
Pretty much. Try to salvage whatever they can.
Yeah, we're looking at Ubisoft. We're going to see all the deals.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
All the Assassin's Creed on sales. Get the Assassin's Creed bundle for $20.
I still won't buy it.
I still won't buy it either. No, I barely want it, and I have it on Game Pass.
Dude, it's on the Game Pass, and for me, it's not on the Game Pass. It's not there. I don't see it.
You don't even see it.
I don't even see
it. Fair enough. Well, speaking about you good?
No, I was just gonna keep the conversation going. Go ahead.
Well, speaking about the Ubisoft people, favorite game mechanic for me so far has been the what do they call it in For Honor? It's the Art of War, I think is what they call it.
The Last Stand.
How they implement their directional combat system.
Oh,
they have done such a good job that people haven't been able to properly replicate it. And I wish there was a better version of For Honor available.
Right.
But it seems like no one's touching it with the 10-foot pole.
That's what it seems like.
So
I'm over here trying to think what even is like my favorite mechanic or things that I really like. Because there's obviously like mechanics or systems that I've played with that I'm like a fan of. But I don't know if I'd consider them like my favorite.
Fair.
Like I think like I've mentioned it, I'm a huge fan of like the materia system and how that affects your stats and leveling up and stuff like that in Final Fantasy VII. But go ahead, Christian, what were you gonna say?
I can go next. I can think of just like the one off the top of my head right away is the fighting system in all the Arkham games.
Oh, the free
With the
flow combat.
Yeah,
the free flow.
that's whatever it's called. That thing. It's just so smooth. It's so intuitive. Like you don't even think about it, and it just fucking works. It's like it's one of those things where like it works so well you don't even notice that it's working.
Mm.
And that's for me. That's like the best feeling in any of those games that I felt is just so. It's nice to be able to flow from one enemy to the next and just dodge, weave. It just feels so dynamic.
I guess that's fair. Because I'm also trying to think of like, do I want to lean more like how it makes you feel versus like the actual gameplay aspect of it, or how it
We
looks?
could do both if you want.
Because like, it's not a hard mechanic by any means, nor is it really that hard to learn. But it's pretty intuitive because they give you like light aspects and stuff. I'm going into gacha game territory. Zenless Zone Zero's combat actually feels pretty good. Like it's not hard by any means. It's literally a variation of you mashing X. Occasionally certain characters have different mechanics where like you hold X to get different things, or their like abilities when you have like a certain gauge will do different things when you hold X, and then you have your skills with Y. Or holding Y, some characters you can hold Y. But one of my favorite things is because you have a team of 3 in Zenless Zone Zero while you're playing in combat. And whenever you're fighting enemies, you'll see like a bright orange yellow like spark when they're about to attack, which means you can either, certain characters can parry it. Well, I know one character, I don't know about other ones, but there's one character that can just parry it and you block the attack and then you can stun them afterwards if you have your skill up. Or you can hit, for me, I play on controller, I hit the right bumper and it swaps out a character, you parry the attack and then you follow up your damage. Or you have or it's red, and red is about to tell you that, hey, this is an unblockable attack, so you have to dodge or get out of the way. And if you dodge at the right time, it triggers perfect dodge and it slows down the enemies, and then you can start doing attacks. Again, there's only one character that can also block the red ones that are quote unquote unblockable because she has a shield. But like I said, it's a very straightforward system. It's not hard by any means, and the content in the game isn't like super hard either. But it feels really fun to play. Like it's probably the one gacha game that I like actually enjoy going through and doing dailies or like more monotonous grinding for materials and stuff, because it's just fun to play with the characters that I have. So I guess as far as like how it feels, quote unquote, other than like complexity or like, you know, I want it to be innovative or anything, I just enjoyed that, at least in more recent memory. I'm a really big fan of that. And I guess for the other one, it's more of a JRPG thing, so I don't know how much experience you guys have on it. And I've mentioned it before on other podcasts that one of my favorite mechanics in RPGs or JRPGs is party formation and like composition. It's like one of my favorite things to like micromanage. I haven't played a whole lot about it, so I can't speak a whole ton on it, but one of the games that did really well, in my opinion, most recently is Metaphor. So Metaphor ReFantazio that came out I think a month or two ago. It came out recently. They have a system, and I already forget what it's called, but basically you can change like the class of your character, and apparently there's like 40 classes or some shit. Like there's a lot. Wow. Again, I'm only a couple hours in. I'm waiting till Thanksgiving break to where I can actually just sit here for 4 days and not move and just play through it. So I've only played like the first 3 hours. But you can change what classes they are, and that determines like the types of magic they can use, whether they're more physical or magic oriented. Some of them have healing, some of them don't, and then they also have different like elements that they deal in damage, but they're also weak to different elements. So you being able to kind of mix and match, and you can even have different characters be the same class. And so I've always enjoyed those types of systems in games like RPGs where you have a party, because it allows you to like still within the system's like constraints to be very like you build your own team type thing, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think Metaphor did it, at least so far. I've only gotten like 3 or 4 classes unlocked, so I have very limited experience with it. So I'm sure someone that's played more will probably be like, no, it's awful, it's horrible, I don't know. But at least from my little experiences and how other games do parties and stuff, I've been a really big fan of it.
I wouldn't play Dragon Age
Veilguard.
Veilguard, if you like those systems.
Yeah, so I guess side as a little side tangent. I've heard very mixed reviews on that one, and none of them very good.
I'm 30 hours in, and I'm there for the combat.
Oh
That's
God.
it.
You can you can talk about it because I'm not gonna play it.
Yeah, it's fine.
The story or the combat, like
just everything. You can rant about the game being bad because I don't know anything about it. Like I haven't looked at gameplay. I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, so the pacing is weird. The decision making is whimsical at best. It feels like, I guess the best way to play it is you feel like you're playing the new Willy Wonka movie, but then they're saying that movie is supposed to be a rated R film. Like, if that's any way to pose this, like,
right?
It's very much everybody hold hands. Let's do this. This is a fantastic journey. Oh my, everything is beautiful. The world is whatever. And then you as the character are trying to stop some craziness from going on, and it seems like you're the only one trying to take it serious.
What the fuck?
And it's just it's like a weird disconnect between, like, is there an actual problem or am I just here? And I've seen a couple of people post that it gets way better in the final act. But honestly, I don't even think I am a third of the way through the game after 30 hours because I have not been enticed to actually care about what's going on here, to like fully progress the story, having like gathered all the companions. There was a companion that I did grab, and there was a whole conversation about. And is everybody here that knows about Dragon Age, the Qunari, like the Battleborn individuals, they fight a lot. They are like just some gruely individuals.
Mm-hmm.
A female Qunari comes into the conversation and pretty much tells everybody that she doesn't like that her mother tells her that she dresses like a man or she fights like a man.
Right.
And then the other female characters then begin to talk about how she has an option not to be a woman, even though they can appreciate her autonomy and all this other stuff. And I'm like, we have blighted dragons and elven gods running through these streets.
And this is what we're worried about?
And this is the conversation?
I hate half-hearted attempts at addressing like larger issues. Like either go all in or don't touch it.
Right.
Because you do a disservice by just doing a half-hearted attempt like that. Is you're not doing anybody any favors with that. It draws away from the conversation, and it just it uses it like as a gimmick. I hate that. I hate that in any media.
Yeah, it really doesn't make too much sense. Like, I don't get why and even for the point of having such personalization for a character like that, it would make sense if your characters were actually like a fun cast and everything was memorable. But when you don't like anybody to begin with, it's kind of like, I really don't care what your problems are.
Right.
Like, I just want to get to the end of this story so I can uninstall this game.
I don't know how this is gonna make you feel, but your take is almost word for word what IGN said about the game.
Well, there we go. I mean, me and IGN, I still don't know about all them, but
we had that whole discussion. We had that whole discussion shitting on IGN, and you're having the same opinion as them. That's wild.
I mean, to be fair, I will say when it comes down to them, there are multiple reviews that come out of them. because I did see that there was a previs review where somebody was looking like, "Oh, this is shaping up to be a great game," and then everybody was ripping my IGN like, "What are you talking about? This thing is trash."
Right.
The one I'm
But
looking
then
at was like a day ago, so I don't think it's
okay,
that
yeah,
one. Yeah,
it's the later review, so somebody else is like, "Let me play this," and now it's
yeah,
like, okay, yeah, it's not good. It's like, no, it's not. The combat, however, they tried to follow the Arkham system. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, the Arkham system for combat. That's why it's like decently fun, just with magic.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think they pulled it off better than Harry Potter. But we can talk about Hogwarts Legacy today. We'll get into that another day.
Right.
Hey, they're
Right.
still getting
Um,
updates, man.
They are. That's actually the next game I'm supposed to go play, but we'll see what happens.
I'm alright.
Are you gonna play it on PC or console?
I have it on Steam already. I had started playing it, but I
I
stopped because I hated the combat.
I recommend looking at Nexus mods and just loading up on mods because I played it vanilla.
Mods.
Dude, I played it vanilla and it was god awful. I was like, you know what? Nope, not doing this. So I went on Nexus mod and they have plenty of like just game fixes, honestly, that they have as mods. Made it so much better.
I'll have to see what. As long as it doesn't make my file size 300 gigs, like it happened with Skyrim.
Oh
I
my
don't think
god.
so.
Fucking.
I mean, depends. It's a you pick the system, so like you decide how much you want to go in on mods. But like I didn't do anything too crazy.
I still have no urge to ever touch that game.
Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah, even as someone that loved the movies growing up and stuff like that, and the world, I remember the game coming out, and I was like, that's kind of cool. And then the game came out, and I was like, that's fine. And then I never.
I think it's not for like people that like just casually like watch the movies or like even enjoy the movies. I think it's more for people that like read the books because it has like areas in the castle that are like word for word from the book. So like
Yeah.
if you've read the books, you'll love it. If you've watched the movies, you'll think it's okay.
I just hate the magic system. Like it's
It's
I just don't understand why people keep messing up the like wizard combat.
I think
I
it's
d-
because it's not really thought out, like or like thoroughly explained in any format. You hear like hints of it throughout the series, but because she never like sat down and wrote an entire book about here's everything you can do with magic, here's what you can't, or here's how it works. People are
Yeah.
just kind of like pigeonholed into making it one, it has to look like the movies because that's what we've seen, and two, if it has to work the way it's described in the books. So it's like it's very narrow alley of what they can actually do with it.
Well, I mean more right now, every time someone comes up with a Harry Potter game, their magic system is like very arcadey.
Yeah,
Like it's not like I always thought that they would end up having it more like a tactical shooter.
Yeah.
I mean, funny enough, saying that with wands. There's a video where they have like Harry Potter with guns. Y'all should watch that. I think it's
Yeah, I've seen
hilarious.
it. I've seen it.
An abomination should have never been made, but very well.
Well, it's funny that you say that it probably would seem that it'd be like a tactical shooter. Have you seen the later games that were based on the movies? Like the Deathly Hollows, like those games that came out for the 360.
Yeah.
It's a third person like cover shooter, like Gears of War.
Exactly. Which is what I figured Harry Potter would be, because like in Hogwarts Legacy, you're slinging spells like you're Dick Grayson or something, right? Like you're like doing crazy flips and spins, and I'm like, when does any of these people do this in the Harry Potter universe? Like, it's literally one whip and then somebody explodes, but your character is like whipping it like they're in the Wild West or something, and like throwing 50 spells at one character, and then you got like what is it, year 6 students? Yeah, year 6 students just killing folks.
Yeah.
They turn their phone, explode. I'm like, what? And they're laughing like, yeah, like, oh yeah, we did it, and it's like, just kill the guy. Like, what do you? Isn't that like the unforgivable curses? You can't be doing these things. Like, I don't know. I wish they would have done it more like the Gears of War cover shooter style, where it's like you sting a spell, you hide, you like duck and cover to cover and figure some stuff out. Because I can't get past this combat, I really can't. It just feels very bad to me.
Yeah,
That's
it didn't
I
look
can
too
give
good.
Dragon Age. I can give Veilguard. Their combat is better than Hogwarts Legacy, in my opinion.
In your opinion,
Yeah,
take
but
that
you
as you
also
will.
have companions. You also have companions in Dragon Age to help you out in the fight, so that's probably why. Because in the Harry Potter game, you got NPCs, but you can't really.
They're just there,
They're just there. Yeah, they just exist.
which is fair. Yeah,
But
I had no interest in playing Dragon Age. I haven't touched Dragon Age since. I mean, they haven't really released that many, but the last one I tried was Inquisition, and I was like, no. And I was like, I'm all right. I'll never touch this series again, and I'm good.
Did you get stuck in the hinterlands?
No, I actually played like 3 or 4 hours.
Oh, you got out of it.
Yeah, no, I tried to play it. I tried to play it.
All 3 of those hours are probably in the hinterlands, so that's probably.
I mean, it wasn't very fun.
Oh god, I hate the hinterlands.
I was like, yeah, this is what the combat's gonna be like for the rest of the game. I'm all right.
Yeah, they kind of messed up. But on the bright side, at least we see that the Batman formula continues throughout games. Like
Yeah, there's
everybody
still a few games that make it. I mean, like, or variations of it, right? Like even Marvel Spider-Man games use a form of it.
Yeah, and then Shadow of Mordor.
Shadow of Mordor, which I think has the better one, to be honest.
It does. I think it does.
It feels better to me, at least. I mean, I remember playing is Shadow of Mordor the first one?
Yeah, Shadow of Mordor was the first one. Then Shadow of War was the second one.
So I remember playing Shadow of War for like a good 6 hours and didn't even progress story. I was going around trying to find my nemesis. He fucking beat my ass 3 times.
He's like, we're here to throw hands.
Yeah, we're here
nothing else to
It was my mission that day to fucking kill that man. And then I lost my nemesis. And then I was like, what's my purpose? And then they put me, I tried to go back into the story and then I never picked the game back up.
Yeah. It should have just been straight up the nemesis system. There should have been not much story. Like they should have just had some exposition on the side for if you wanted it.
You should. I kind of wish I was like streaming it or recording it, because I could have made like a full in-depth like 30-minute, 40-minute video on my journey of this little fucking grub. He was level like this fucking low life little bitch that was in the area when someone else killed me and he got promoted. And it happened 3 times to make it to like this big league, and then I finally killed him. And it was a whole journey. It was a whole journey.
It's a hero's journey.
I was so fucking mad watching this little fuck boy climb up the ranks when he's not even the one directly killing me.
He has earned nothing, yet he is a general.
Yes.
And they talk a lot of shit too. That'd be the funny part.
Like, they do. Bro. And then the funny thing is, I'll be walking around and then I like find him, right? But he doesn't know I'm here yet. And he's talking to his minions and he's talking shit about me to them. I was like, bro, I live in your head rent free.
Yep. But I mean, you were the one following him. So.
I mean, I was trying to kill him, and then other people would kill me.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Yeah, I need to get into one of those games again.
They're so much fun.
Those things are fun.
It always pissed me off when I died to just like the last hit by some random nobody.
Yeah, and he gets promoted.
Yeah, I'm like, God.
That's how it starts.
You know what's really crazy to me? Even worse than them killing you is them emoting after they kill you.
Oh yeah.
And then like they're sitting there looking like
they're essentially they're essentially hitting you because they're like screaming and shit. They're essentially just T-posing on your dead body.
Yeah, they are. It's like whoever came up with this, you're a savage. Like this is hilarious.
Dude, I was like, this guy's pissing me off. Like I'm over here like one of the encounters where he got promoted to like not general, but like a really high position was I infiltrated like a base and I'm fighting through hundreds of these minions to get to him. And I'm like, as I'm fighting like some big ass enemy, he comes up from behind and hits me in the back and kills me and then gets promoted. I was like, no, you're dying today, bro. Like, this is it.
Let me say that I'm a smart mover. Yeah. I move slowly. Good man.
I must have been the I Am Legend from the book to this general and his people. I
Oh,
just
yeah.
showed up in the night, murdered billions in my wake to try to find him, and then I'd leave.
Oh, good. And then pull a John Wick in orc territories.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, I killed probably more orcs than the average person that did in their normal playthrough with that one journey alone.
I honestly am happy that they just have a replayable system.
Yeah.
I guess that's another thing. The Nemesis system is fantastic.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
I don't see anything wrong with it at all. It's other than it being copyrighted.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then it's also like I think
Yeah,
the way that
patented.
it was also
Patented.
implemented is also really well done. Because like I said, you see them get promoted, but it's not like just a gray screen of them getting promoted with their rank
it's
and
a
name.
whole
No,
thing.
it's like a whole hierarchy that you're seeing with them all grayed out.
Mhm.
I think the way that it's presented, the way that it's done, there's always a fucking shitty insult line when they fucking get promoted.
It's very thought out.
It's really well thought out and well placed.
It's just weird that it's in that game.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, out of all the things, it's like they have great combat. The story is meh. But then all of a sudden, this intuitive system just there. Nowhere else. Just here.
And that's not even going into like, again, like I have so much fun not even playing the story in this game. That's not even going into like how your ghost self works and the mechanics that brings to you in combat and out of combat. Like being able to grab these orcs and bring them to your side and also use them to fight other people. It's like I said, just well thought out, so well done.
Yeah, I will say this. I do wish that mechanic was in Destiny.
Well, I was gonna say that you might have liked it in For Honor. I could see it being there in like the story mode version of it. That was sick. Just different factions fighting. You know, you start as a foot soldier, work your way up. At the same time, your nemesis is working their way up.
I think the only thing with For Honor is that because you have everything for your character out the gate, and there is not an actual progression, it's a bit different. Because like if you kill like as Talion, I think his name is Talion, right? Talion. As Talion, if you're level 5, you're going to be way more well equipped at like level 20. So if you run into like lieutenants, you can take out the lieutenants, but then you can't beat the guy above them. By the time you're level 20, you definitely can. And then For Honor, your skill is always what it's going to be. So if you're like a skilled player, if you can beat the lieutenant, you can probably beat the general. Like it's a So because I think For Honor, they just give them more health. Yeah, they just give the person health. It's just an annoying fight at that point. But something like Destiny, that would be cool because then you could drop a different exotic or different named weapon for that, Kel that you killed that, is the next ranking or the new Fallen Lord or something. I would be interested if they pull something off like that because that brings in like true replayability, like infinite replayability. But
a system that I can't stand.
I didn't even think about that one, but go ahead.
Since we were talking about it, you kind of brought it up, and it's what made me think about it. So I just change the topics. Yeah, no, just what you were talking about with more health. I hate when games make things just bullet sponges to add difficulty.
Yeah, the padding.
I hate that shit. It is not. I'd rather them do more damage on top of them doing different moves as difficulties go up. Like, why is that? Yeah. Like, as an example, I love Borderlands 2. Borderlands 2 is my favorite Borderlands by far, and the DLC and everything about it. But when you start playing on like Ultimate Vault Hunter mode and stuff, you're just sitting there fighting like normal ass enemies for like 20 minutes, using abilities and all your ammo just to kill them. And I'm just like, this isn't even fun. Like, what's the point?
Yeah. The crazy part is, when I was working on Borderlands 3, we had I forget what that arena area is called, but there's an arena where you can pretty much like dial up the difficulty and say like, well, how many people you're trying to fight or whatever. I really don't remember the name of this thing, but I put it on the most difficult thing you could do, and I debugged the game to give me like on paper the best stats you can probably have for a character.
Right.
Max level, all the things. went in there, got destroyed. And I was like, this isn't fun.
Right.
I'm like, who's going to think this is fun? I'm like, we can't get through this. So I sent it up to the design team, and I was looking like, hey, one of y'all beat this. Like, just beat this. None of them could beat it.
Right.
But then it was like, it's okay, because a player will beat this. I'm like, that's a horrible philosophy.
Right.
Someone will beat this. No one in-house can beat it. It looked like, oh no, we had one engineer beat it. I'm looking like, okay, so I'm gonna go talk to him. He was like, yeah, I haven't even played it yet.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Because
okay.
and before someone says it, yes, I obviously understand that. Yes, obviously when you go to higher difficulties, they do need more HP just because that's part of it. But I'm saying there's a difference between more HP for the sake of difficulty versus like more HP and then you add in more damage. They do different attacks. Their tactics change. Like there's more than just more HP. That's the problem. Like it's the way that they implement those difficulty increases, where the majority of it is just they do more damage and they have like 10 times the HP. Like that's the issue.
Exactly. Even for the more HP, I wish that the HP was something that's standard.
Yeah.
I would rather have somebody have armor and different like just as an example, because for something I was working on, I guess at this point, it's just kind of like shooting the shit for a minute. But
Yeah, we're just here.
the game I was working on, it pretty much is you preparing to go and take back over the world because vampires, werewolves, all these other creatures have taken over, and you're trying to figure out how to fight them in a secure location so you can actually get a strike team, go down and like retake major cities. For the witches, I had set up something to where like the basic witches, they all have a certain amount of, well, every character in the game has a certain amount of health, and for each faction, their health is as it is. But as you go up in the rank of those different characters, they have a unique talent you have to break that makes their health easier to access.
Mhm.
So for like the base witches, it's literally just throw hands with them and then you win. Then there's the next level of the witches where they normally have like two elements, but there's an element that they're specifically weak to. But they're going to be a little bit faster. They're going to hit a little harder. So you're going to be more like, oh, let me, use these elements and actually try to slow them down and trap them. And then once you get to the top tier, then they start having stuff to where there's like rooms around the room, or they have like a what's that thing called that Voldemort has? The thing where you split your soul into different things.
Oh,
They
yeah.
have like these different pieces around the room that look like regular furniture that you got to destroy, and then you can finally actually do damage to them and stuff like that. But like actual things that makes a fight difficult rather than just annoying.
Yeah.
Because like you mentioned, bullet sponginess. It's just who actually wants to sit down and do that. It's just dumb.
No, I think it's always so stupid. And then like, I just never, I don't understand because I don't know what goes into the development of these games because I've never done it. I just don't understand the philosophy behind it either. Like you guys are making this game, right? Like I feel like if I was working on a game, I'd like to be able to enjoy the game myself, right? Why would I then go intentionally creating a system that would just annoy people and annoy me specifically?
Yeah. When most people make these games, their thoughts isn't for what happens at 10 hours in. Their thought is most of the people that make the game, they're gonna play it for maybe like 4 or 5 hours at maximum, and that's because like it's a game I worked on, guys. Let's go play this and this, that, and other. But they're not going to actually sit down and really enjoy their game. And even a game like Borderlands, it's kind of okay for them to have bullet sponges because they're giving you wacky things to do anyway. So like they're posing this as this isn't serious in any form anyway. Like there's guns that laugh at you and you can like throw a gun down and it starts walking on two legs and shooting stuff and being weird. So they kind of just don't take it too serious in general. But
Yeah.
and stuff like The Division, they have no excuse.
Right.
Yeah.
Like there's no excuse for that shit. That's just
Oh, sorry. You mentioned the Division. I completely forgot about this other mechanic. The Darkness Zone.
I don't
in
even
the
remember
division.
that.
Yeah, where you can that's like
Yeah.
a little PvP area.
It's like the first extraction type game before like Kartov and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That was so fun. Like that was so
Yeah.
like it was like the one redeeming thing about that game.
I did at
Other
least
than the
enjoy.
visuals.
I did like the division, the first one, for a little while at least.
Yeah,
I
hate
was
the
I was
second
I
one.
was I was there waiting in line to talk to that NPC when the
Yeah.
game came out.
hmm Yeah, I can't stand the second one. Honestly, I can't stand the division anymore. I think they have screwed me over since Wildlands, so I think I'm good off of the
Yeah,
division.
pretty much.
Fair. Yeah.
It's,
fair.
well, I mean, Ghost Recon in general, I guess. Yeah, they just make Splinter Cell. Just make a Splinter Cell game. Ubisoft, make
Please.
Splinter Cell. For the love of God, any of them, all of them.
All of them,
make
just make one.
But yeah, all in all, Marvel Rivals,
Yes. Very excited.
December 6th
I
or
think.
Seventh, I think.
Is it the 7th? Is it the 7th? Release date. It is. I think it is. Oh no, December 6th.
7th is Secret
Yeah.
Levels.
Secret Levels. Oh,
Who's
I
that?
see. That's the Amazon TV show.
Yes.
Oh, dude, I'm excited for that. Yeah.
You excited to see Concord?
Yeah,
The
I'm so excited to see Concord actually.
Oh man. That's,
No,
it's
I
insane.
realistically the only one I really care about is the Warhammer 40k one, but I'll watch the rest.
I can't even remember who else in there.
God of
It's a lot.
War, Concord.
Oh, yeah, God of War.
That's all I remember.
I'm looking at this again. Look.
Yeah, pull it up. Let's take a look.
Oh no! Oh wait, no, it's not Concord Game List. It's
No.
Secret Level.
Yeah.
That's how bad that thing lives rent free in everybody's heads right now.
Right. So it's Armored
Secret Level
Core, which is going to be
series.
sick. Concord, Crossfire, Dungeons and Dragons, Exodus, Honor of Kings, Mega Man, New World, Pac-Man,
Sifu.
PlayStation, Sifu, Spelunky, The Outer Worlds, Unreal Tournament, and Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2.
Okay, I'm interested in Unreal Tournament.
Unreal Tournament would be Sifu, Unreal Tournament, Warhammer, Dungeons and Dragons, and Armored Core is what I'm watching.
Mega Man for me. I like that.
It could be
The
good.
Pac-Man sounds funny.
The Pac-Man could be. It depends how they go about it.
It's a Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time I think
King,
of
is that
this, the mobile game, yeah.
the mobile game?
Every time I hear Pac-Man, I immediately think of the stupid ass fact from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. It's like, did you know Puckman used to be
Yeah.
called Puckman?
Anyways.
I'm just dying.
Fuck man.
Fucking Puckman. All right,
But
well,
yeah, maybe that's yeah, I think that's probably it for this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it was just a short
Kind
one,
of
kind of just
rambly episode.
it was just kind
Kind of all over the
talking.
place. Yeah.
Next week we'll be back to normal. We'll have Jeremy back. We'll have like a normal actual episode. That's it. This is just a kind of filler one. I didn't manage to write up an outline to have a proper discussion. I've been sick this whole week, so we didn't have anything. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah. Bye.